Consumers have a lot of choices when it comes to choosing what grass to plant in their yard. Many of you have chosen, and justifiably so, buffalo grass. Buffalo grass is the only native, commonly used turfgrass species in the United States or in North America for that matter. All of the others come from somewhere else. So if you're into that native landscape and you like the idea of planting a warm season grass versus a cool season grass, buffalo grass is the one you need to look at. All that said though, you need to manage this grass differently than you manage the cool season grasses like turf-type tall fescue, Kentucky bluegrass, and perennial ryegrass. What you need to do is think about fertility in a different way. These are warm season grasses, they're dormant in the spring and the fall, and they're actively growing to the summer months when most of the cool season grasses slow down. That's when you want to fertilize them. Now we recommend that you don't over-fertilize buffalo grass. As a matter of fact, 1 application per year. So the traditional 4-step program that you would use with the cool season grasses doesn't hold for buffalo grass. So if you've taken the time to plant a buffalo grass lawn, think about fertility in a different way. 1 pound per 1,000 square feet of nitrogen in June or July, or both if you really want to go on the higher end of the spectrum of what you need for that grass, but we would recommend only one of those times, is going to be more than adequate to carry that grass through the growing season. The other thing is that when you think about irrigation, certainly buffalo grass benefits from irrigation, but at the same time, if you don't irrigate it, it can survive drought, extended drought, better than any of the other grasses that we've already mentioned. Then mowing. Mowing is the critical thing. Buffalo grass, especially the improved turf-type buffalo grasses, do not grow very tall. You could just leave them to grow up depending upon covenants or HOAs in your particular area, but if you don't have to mow them, you don't have to. They'll get a little bit taller. They'll show that male seed head up at the top, which is really pretty and has that very naturalistic look to it. Or you can mow them once a month, or you can even really aggressively mow them like we do our cool season grasses. And then they do fine. But you really don't have to. Lower fertility, less water, and mowing is almost gone, or once or twice a year if that's the direction you want to take. It all depends on what your end goal is. If you want it to look like a well-manicured lawn, aggressively mow more frequently, put more fertility on, and maybe irrigate it a little more. But if you want the more naturalistic, Great Plains look that the grass had for centuries or millennia, go with something that is a little less intensely managed. Fertilize less, if not at all, because many of our urban soils have plenty of fertility in them if they're mature. Mow higher or not at all, or maybe once or twice a year for debris management, and irrigate less frequently or not at all. It's a grass that has that diversity and genetics and adaptation to our region to do exactly what you want to do depending upon your end goal. Some of the problems with buffalo grass is, especially during the first 2 or 3 years during establishment, when you're trying to get it going, you are going to overmanage it a little bit, and weeds can be problematic. Now, 30, 40 years ago, there were no herbicides out there you could use. But luckily, we have herbicides available, and they're available on the website if you want to look those up. But all that said, you're going to have to aggressively manage weeds for the first couple of years. When you start managing it more like a prairie or even as a home lawn, these weed problems will eventually go away or be less than, they'll be like a typical home lawn. So weeds can be problematic in those first couple of years.